Yo, what is up? This is What If Naruto's a Shinigami. We're back with another part. Sorry for not uploading yesterday. I was pretty tired, not gonna lie. But I'm feeling pretty good today. I should just continue on with the daily uploads, so that's gonna be good. And I do want to say one thing. If you guys enjoyed the Symbiote series, I'm sorry I canceled it. It's kind of ended off, but it was due to just me running a little bit out of content and don't want to repeat stuff. So if you guys enjoyed that type of humor though, make sure to go check out my second channel. Link in description below. It's called Wreck It Retards. It's a commentary channel between me and my homie. We're just gonna basically just do a bunch of commentary and tell stories on there. But without that's enough of self-promoting. So without further ado, let's get into this part. Now, Naruto has, of course, gained the love and trust of what would be Karin. But over this time skip I'm about to do, he has actually began loving her as well, and they've become lovers over this point in time. They've taken out everyone else except for each other at this point. They're the last two. They have to fight each other. Now, Naruto wakes up in the morning with Karin in his bed. The night before, she touched him on his face and told him just how much she loved him, and even if she did lose, she doesn't care. She's just rather lose to him than anyone else. Now, Naruto won't accept that. He doesn't want either of them to lose. So he's leaving the room to go to find the Shinigami. Once he finds the Shinigami, he says, I refuse to fight her. I refuse to be separated from Karin. Just let us go back, please. My boy Naruto, you know that's not how it works, the Shinigami would reply. Now Naruto looks at the Shinigami with hateful eyes. How about this? I fight you, and if I'm able to beat you, then we're set free. We're able to go back there, both of us. Same, all of our abilities intact. But if I lose, you can take my soul. Simple as that. Shinigami looks at Naruto. You know, boy, no one's ever had the balls to challenge me. I like you. Let's do it. Now, Karin was actually following Naruto. She saw this and she runs over. She's like, Naruto, no. Naruto looks at her. It's alright. I'm not going to lose, as he gives her a smile. Suddenly, she just feels all reassured. She has all the assurance she needs. She looks at him. She's like, okay, you better not. This leads towards the battle beginning. Naruto rushes forward, landing a gut punch to what would be the Shinigami. Shinigami actually arches over in pain. He looks at Naruto. He's like, damn, you hit like a truck. Naruto's like, thanks. He grabs his arm and sends him flying over his shoulder. Shinigami lands onto his feet, kicking backwards, sending Naruto flying back. Now, Shinigami is much bigger than Naruto, so he's much slower, but he does have longer reach. Naruto lands against what would be the back of like a wall, and this cavern begins to quake. Naruto gets up, coughing up a little bit of blood. It seems you hit harder than I do. Well, that's to be expected. You do weigh like 200 pounds heavier than I do. He rushes forward, slamming the Shinigami against the floor. Shinigami does the same back, sending him flying against the ceiling. They're basically just hashing it out, having fun, smirking at each other. Naruto goes flying down, and then eventually slows time, putting him at a big advantage. He's basically mastered all of his abilities almost. He's made him to a degree where he can slow down time up to about 10 seconds, which is extremely hacks. He rushes forward, encasing his palm in what would be the nether fire, slamming it right into the Shinigami's skull, cracking it. This, breaks one of the Shinigami's horns off. Once time resumes, the Shinigami's extremely taken off guard. Wow, boy. That time-stopping ability is extremely hacks. I won't lie. But I won't let you win that easily. Suddenly he's behind Naruto. He's like, I have my own ability. It's called teleportation. He grabs Naruto by the back of his neck, sending him flying forward. Naruto kind of sees the wall coming forward, so, he grabs puts his arms out and kind of springs back, using it so that it dulls the damage he takes. He rushes back towards the Shinigami. The Shinigami teleports again, but Naruto expected this, slowing time again. He has a cooldown time for when he's able to slow down the time. It's around 15 to 30 seconds before he's able to do it again. So then he waited the 30 seconds, and then he rushes back in, slowing down time again for about another 10 seconds, and just landing an ungodly amount of combos just on what would be the Shinigami. The Shinigami's body has been battered down, And when he thinks he can teleport towards Naruto again, he realizes he can't. His body's taken so much damage. If he teleports again, he'll just basically pass out and lose the match. So he rushes towards Naruto in a last stitched effort. But Naruto just dodges, landing an elbow straight towards what would be the gut, knocking the air out of the Shinigami, and the Shinigami ends up losing the bout. Naruto says, I won't kill you. There's no point in killing you, because after all, I don't want to take over all your responsibilities, and you seem to enjoy it. Just follow your end of the deal and send us back. And, I'll make sure to send you quite a few souls. Shinigami looks up with Naruto. He can't help but smirk. He knows Naruto is something exceptionally well. He says, alright then. And he snaps his fingers, and Naruto and Karin suddenly appear in front of the Leaf Village. Naruto looks at Karin and he's like, so, where did you come from? I never asked you. Did you come from this world? She's like, well, from what you've told me, I actually didn't. I was never a ninja or anything like that. I seem to have come from a different world from you. So I'm just glad he sent me here. I was never really enjoyed in my world anyways. I had nothing to go back to, no family. He's like, well, yeah, you did tell me about that. That they are, after all, a couple at this point in time. So he's like, well, that's quite interesting. They're going to go inside, because, real quick, I just want to say, you guys probably thought it was Karin Uzumaki. Forgot to specify it's not. It's just, Karin. It's a new Karin, alright? So they end up going into what would be the actuality of, the Leaf Village. And, they have to go and check in with the third Hokage, of course. It's to be expected. Now, they're at 16 years old of age at this point in time. It was 2 years. They were gone. Naruto left. Well, it'd be 15 to 16 years old of age. They left, and Naruto actually came back. Now that he's come back, he checks in with the third Hokage, and the third Hokage is astonished that Naruto is back. He's like, Naruto, I was wondering where you went. Well, Naruto, since you're back, and you seem to have been through quite a bit, you seem very strong-willed and very different as he looks at Naruto's white hair and red eyes, and you seem to have brought a friend. Naruto's like, oh yes, this is my lover. Her name's Karin. He's like, oh, lover. Young love is very different. He looks at Naruto with just a smirk, a sly smirk, and he says, well, Naruto, I do have something as a little gift for you. I was expecting you to come back, so I brought you what would be this, as he hands Naruto an envelope full of cash, or yen, or whatever they call it. And this is because of it's all of the months of money he was receiving prior to him leaving. So all of it added up. So 2 years worth of money. Now Naruto just smirks. He's like, hey, old man, you're not that bad. I'm glad to be back. He's like, I'm glad you're back, Naruto. After all, the Academy's tests are about to end. He's like, what? He's like, yes. See, as you left, it was usually 13 years old of age that you would end the Academy, correct? Well, we actually expanded the curriculum to where it was 15 years old of age to make the shinobi much more valuable, to make him much stronger. Naruto's like, oh, really? I find this quite intriguing. He's like, so am I still enrolled? He's like, well, I will reinstate you in the academy, along with your lover, Karin, and you guys will take the exam, and that's all you really need to do. From what I can tell, you seem to be quite capable, especially since you lived on your own for so long. He's like, yeah, I would say I'm pretty capable, as he gives a little smirk towards Karin. She looks back, blushes a little. She's like, yeah, he could handle himself. So it leads into what would be them going towards Naruto's old apartment and cleaning it up. She walks in and she's like, damn, this place is a pigsty. Naruto's like, I know, right? Honestly, I was a mess. I don't like it that much. So they end up cleaning it up, and they share a bed, of course, so it doesn't really bother her that much. And, they use some of that money to go out. And that's where I'm going to leave it off. Yep, they have returned. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. What's going to happen? How will everyone react to Naruto and Karin? You'll have to find out in the next part.